What is up, besties? It is your girl Karmic, back to you again with another video. And this time, especially if you're watching this during Mercury retrograde, but if you're watching it whenever, maybe this is the time you're supposed to. Because in today's video, we are covering, are two people really destined to be together? Do we have this soulmate contract in the ethers before we end up together? And that's so funny. I just heard the song Make It To Me, and I'm hearing Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars. I feel like that's what I got in the reading too, because I did it last night. But basically what we're looking at is red string theory true? Is it true that before we get into this world, it's almost like a metaphoric, that's what it basically is. I think it's like, oh God, forgive me. I think it's like a form of like Asian mythology, correct me in the comments, I'm sorry, where it's like we have a string on our finger and no matter the distance, we will always find our way back to each other. So it's kind of given like, I don't really promote twin flames on this channel just because I think a lot of people, like, including myself, when I found it, we kind of make excuses for toxic behavior and call it twin flame, when in reality, it's usually a karmic, hey, it's me, hi, I was the problem. I bought into it. And so let's aim for soulmates. I mean, if you want twin flames, that's all you, boo, go do you. But for me, I want easy, I want calm, I want to be held. I don't want no drama. No drama for me, honey. So in today's video, like I said, what I did was I did Dark Mirror Oracle in the beginning because I had a feeling that it was going to give us some tea, and it sure did. It's basically kind of like if you're sick and tired of being single because you've been dating people that are just whack, maybe you're in a relationship or even a situationship and you're like, is this really all there is? Like, is this seriously the best I can do? Then this reading's definitely for you, because even being in the energy, by the time it was over, I was like, I got nothing to worry about. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? So especially with it being Mercury retrograde, if you are feeling like love isn't real, it doesn't exist, I'll never find him or her or they, you know what I mean? Like, just get a snack, bestie, sit down, come enjoy this reading. So as always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, bestie. No facts. How could she possibly know? She talks to the dead. She's a weirdo, right? So, as always, what is up to my regulars? Hey, besties. Love you guys so much. Happy Monday, I guess. Happy Mercury retrograde, I guess. But yeah, I don't really think there's much to cover in terms of a summary for this. Like I said, there's like some ancient whatever the F basically saying that we always find our way back home to our soulmate. And so I took a look at it, and I think in a time where we're all currently reflecting on past relationships and going like, that didn't work, but this did, but why was I hung up on him, but he treated me like ish, and blah, blah, blah. I feel like this will make you feel a little bit more peaceful while you're purging the shit you're going through. Or maybe you're purging it 3 years from now looking like, why do I settle for motherfuckers that don't care about me? You know what I mean? Because trust me, girl, boy, I've been there. I get you. I wrote the damn book. Okay? I dated every bad person to get me to where I'm at today. So I feel like this reading is going to give you guys some hope. I feel like this will help you. This might trigger some people too, especially if you're in a relationship where you're settling and you make excuses for yourself because you're afraid. Then this might be triggering. But I'm just going to leave it there, besties. So if you are new here, we move on next to a timeless message meant to find you. You do not have to be spiritual. You just got to use your intuition and go, do I think this message is for me today? And if the answer is no, that's totally fine. Go down to the timestamps and hit the pop culture. But for the people that appreciate these readings, we're going to bring in a timeless message next. So depending on where I see you, besties, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, let's get into it. All right, besties, if you stuck around for the timeless message, then this is probably most likely 100% for you. So as always, take what resonates. Do not let the rest take from you. There are a lot of people watching this and some may not apply. So like I said, use your intuition, use your discernment. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, the link to my website, thekarmicdf.com, is down below. Plenty of reviews to check out if you'd like. But Spirit Team, what does the general public need to hear today above all else? Why am I hearing Tupac, keep your head up? And now I'm here, oh my God, what is that song? Gotta keep your head up, oh, you can let your hair down, hey. I know it's hard to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up, oh, you can let your hair down, hey. Aww. Okay, besties, what's going on? The World card, 9 of Pentacles and 2 of Cups. Reversed. No wonder I got 2 songs about keep your head up. I think a lot of you, remember, take what resonates, don't let it take from you, are disconnecting from people, places, situations that do not serve you. What I'm getting is you are wrapping up karmic cycles. So whatever it is that you're currently feeling, I'm hearing feel it to heal it. So if you're sad right now, if you're feeling drained, I'm getting brain fog. I'm getting like, if you're heavily a spiritual person, then you might be feeling like ascension symptoms because they're poking at me here. Maybe you're getting like hot flashes. Maybe you have brain fog. Maybe it's like you're just tired, exhausted, burnt out. It's like I can't get my energy back. It's like I go to sleep and I'm at 20%. What the hell's going on? What I'm seeing is like the DNA symbol in my mind, and I'm seeing water going through it. So it's like you're cleansing yourself internally so that you don't settle for less than you deserve. Now, this is so tacky because I never do this in my videos, but my throat is so damn dry, and I feel like that has a message of like, you guys are learning how to speak your truth, so hold the fuck up. I need water, bestie. I need water. All right, whatever. Since when am I professional? It's the message that counts. So anyway, with the World card, especially with the couple on the World card, besties, I think for a lot of you, it's people. And also just like, for most of you, it could be a spouse and friends and people. But for me, this is just giving me like, I'm wrapping up shit, period. Like, if this job doesn't serve me, well, I'm looking elsewhere, I'm done. If this relationship doesn't serve me, well, I deserve better, I'm done. This friendship, they're not treating me right. Well, I deserve better, I'm done. Like, that's literally the vibe here. It's like you guys are starting to step into your 9 of Pentacles, bad bitch, bad boy, bad whatever you want to be called era, where it's like, if you can't add pentacles to my flourishing pentacles, why would I invite you into my life? I'm hearing the song, what have you done for me lately? It's giving me this vibe of like, I think a lot of you might be recovering people pleasers to some extent, because it's giving me like, I give. Yeah, I'm seeing the 6 of Pentacles reversed in my mind's eye. It's like, I give, but I never get anything back. And I never complained before because this is what I knew. A lot of you might be parentified children, take it as it resonates, but it's giving me this vibe of like, hold the fuck up. You called me crazy. You told me I didn't do enough. You told me I wasn't enough. You picked and prodded and pulled and blah. But yet, I don't even like you. Like, I'm hearing the quote, I was so busy worried if you liked me that I didn't stop to think if I liked you. I think a lot of you are going, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm seeing that meme of that little boy who goes, oh my God, I know you guys can see. He's got like the bowl cut hair, blonde, and he's like, wait a minute. Who are you? Like, that's kind of the vibe. I feel like a lot of you are like, bye, Felicia, bye, Fernando, adios. Like, it's just like, I love this energy. This is great. If you're not already in this energy, this is the energy that you're coming into. So if right now you're feeling a little weepy, a little tired, a little drained, you're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where the road is to head. It's like right now you're at a pause because this is the energy you're stepping into, where it's like, yeah, I'm hearing that song, don't trust a hoe, don't trust me. I think it's like, oh, one of my regulars said, it's like 303 or something. I don't freaking know. Take it as it resonates. But it's like, when I usually see this card in a client reading, I usually get the message of what you're seeking is seeking you. So when it's in the reverse, it's giving me like, I ain't seeking you, bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, what, dude, I'm getting worked up in this energy because I feel like a lot of you, if you haven't hit this part yet, I think that you will eventually. I'm almost in this energy of like, bruh, no, fuck you. Like, that's kind of the vibe. What, like, you're coming at me with scraps? Like, and how did I not see that this was scraps? Like, I can see a lot of you being like, maybe you have exes coming around because they're drawing me to the fact that the day after Mercury retrograde, I had 2 exes hit me up. But I think like people might be coming back to kind of test you, and this is spirit going, that's the test. It's going like, have you had enough? or are you going to expect greatness is kind of the vibe here. And with Page of Cups in the reverse being in the back of the deck, I mean, if you read tarot at all, this is detachment. It's like, with Seven of Wands right underneath it, it's like, I am defending myself. I don't give a shit what you gotta say. If you don't like me, tough. I'm gonna find the people that do like me. I'm done catering to your needs is the vibe of this. I'm done pretending that Cupid struck me in the ass, and I'm done buying your words because your actions just aren't matching it. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of the fights. I'm tired of you not appreciating me. I'm tired of you not seeing my worth. I'm tired of you realizing how much I am worth once I throw you away for treating me like shit. I see a lot of you like, and I get it, girl, I've been there, where it's like, you know what? I had it. I'm done. And then you block them, and then you're like, all right, I've calmed down. Like, I'm going to unblock you as like a white flag. It doesn't mean I want to talk to you, but it's just to show you that like, I'm over it. And then they pop around like nothing ever fucking happened, right? It's like, we didn't just have that huge blowout. Now you're going to hit me up a month later. Like everything's just copacetic. We should just move on. Like, I think a lot of you are realizing that none of these people are offering conflict resolution. They're just offering conflict. They're competing with you. They're envious. They're jealous. There's just gameplay is the main energy here. It's like, I'm tired of gameplay. I want healthy connections. I'm tired of drama. I want people that appreciate and value me. And because you're stepping into this energy, and again, it feels like there's a spectrum here. So some of you might be you might be in the sad phase right now. Some of you might be in the anger stage where it's like, how could you? How dare you? And some of you are leaning from anger to like, yeah, I'm hearing Ariana, thank you next. It's like, all right, look what you taught me, but bye. You know what I mean? So this message is from Spirit to say, like, we understand, we see what you're going through. We understand the storm that you're facing right now. We know that it's hard, bestie. I see some of you crying. Again, love you guys so much. This is a hug. Close your eyes. We're hugging in the 4D. I promise. Big love. I totally get this. From me to you, thank you for doing this work because it helps elevate us as a society. But from me to you, I'm telling you this energy. Yeah, look, girl. Page of Pentacles in reverse. I'm pulling my energy back because this is not bearing me fruit. And then the Chariot card. So I'm going to go make my own happiness somewhere else without you. My abundance. Yeah. Oh my God. What song was that? I can't live. I can't lie. I can't take one more sleepless night without you, without you. Yeah, I think some of you might be having exes popping back up or people that are just like, like maybe it's like half-assed apologies or no apologies at all. It's just like, can we brush this? Yeah, I'm hearing the song, Can We Just Talk Before We Get Lost? I think you guys might be having people pop up, peekaboo, it's kind of give me that. Yeah, oh my God, with the Hierophant card right there. And Nine of Cups, it's like, your happiness, oh my God, I love these cards. Your happiness made you decide to choose a new beginning, right? The Fool card, Nine of Cups with the Hierophant, and it's like the relationships and the structures that I'm going to commit to better be in alignment with who I am and what I truly want. I'm not bending to your needs. I'm not disrespecting myself out of the name of love because that's not love. That's coercion. That's manipulation. And so you, with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, went, enough is enough. I'm done. Or you're getting there. If you're not there already, you're getting there because energetically you're aligning to that. So if you're like, karmic, I could never. Energetically, you are evering like you've evered before. You know what I mean? So don't worry about it. Because the Tower card right after that is like, I'm restructuring. This shit don't work, so I'm going to figure out what does. So I think this next chapter of your life is you figuring out who you are, what your likes and dislikes are, what you want out of a relationship. I see a lot of you reflecting, being like, all right, you were a mega douche. But I love that you were intelligent. I love that you were driven. But I hated that you were emotionally unavailable, and I hated that you always projected instead of had conflict resolution. So these are the things that I want in a spouse. These are the things that are my non-negotiable red flags. And it's like, because you're learning who you are and you're basically solidifying it, I'm seeing concrete. It's like, now the universe can answer that call. So because you're not in alignment to people that disrespect you, now you're going to attract people that pour into you because you decided that it starts and ends with me. So if you're pouring into yourself right now, keep going. If you're thinking about people from the past, don't bat it down. I know society teaches us to do that. That is the worst thing. You go, this is why, y'all, I'm going to go on a tangent for 2 seconds, real quick. This is why so many people in society, quote unquote, fail and then think that God's out to get them. Because all of us, right, will be like, I want more. Like, I hate my job. I wish I had a better job. And then we throw it out into the universe because words are spells, regardless of how you feel about it. And then what ends up happening is because we've set that intention, everything else will start to bubble up. And so now let's make it easy. Let's do relationships. I can't do this relationship anymore. He's an asshole, right? And part of you still doesn't really want to let go, but you know intuitively you should. And so this is where people mess up on manifesting, because things will come up to the surface, because it's like, in order to get you to the next chapter, this shit can't come with us. Like if you want to build a business, but you don't feel like you're worthy, that can't come with you to the business, because if you blow up, like for instance, when I blew up, like if I didn't love myself enough, negative comments could have tore me down. So it's like when we manifest, our subconscious mind goes, this can't come, so we need to release it for good. So if you're thinking about an ex from 3 years ago, don't beat yourself up, bestie, because it's your subconscious going, oh, we don't need this. This needs to be addressed so that we can get into the timeline we want to end up with the people, places, and things that we want. So whatever's coming up for you right now, feel it to heal it, because the only way out is through. And you're doing a good job. You're cutting people off. You're reflecting. You're thinking about what you want, what you don't want, and you're honoring yourself. And all I got to say is to keep doing it. And please know that you're on the right path. And while some of you may be feeling right now that you're drowning, because I'm seeing that meme where it's like the guy's got his arm out into the water and someone just pats the hand instead of helps him. It's your spirit guides going like, you got this. You don't need help. Just keep crying. Call out to us if you need us. We can help, ease the pain, the transition, maybe, get outside, watch some happy movies, whatever. But at the end of the day, where you're headed is nothing like where you've been. And the reason that's happening, the reason why you're able to do it while other people stay stuck, is because you're releasing all the shit that's got to go in order for you to get the loved one you want, the friends you want, the environment you want, the mental health you want, the whatever it is you're looking for, shit's coming up for you to release once and for all, so that you could be a magnet to the things that you know that you deserve, and you will get them, bestie. So I'm going to leave it here. Like I said, if you want to book a private reading with me, thekarmicdf.com in the description below. But without further ado, I know you guys are going to love this next section, especially after what we just covered. Are we destined to be with somebody? Is it a soulmate, fated connection? All alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. Let's get into it. All right, besties, so we are going to take a look and see, are we predetermined to end up with our spouse? I think we all kind of, at least if you're a regular on my channel, we probably already have a little bias towards this one, I'm sure. But I even want to see what the cards are saying. And to be honest with y'all, when you guys started to bring it up in the comments, because you guys were the reason that this happened, this is why you should vote in the community poll, shout out. I intuitively had already seen like Snopes in my mind's eye, and I saw like half true. So I feel like already there's some validity to this, but we will check it out. So all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit all the buttons, hit your mom's button. That sounds so wrong, y'all. I don't know. I've been sitting in the heat, y'all, for hours, and my brain's a little wishy-washy. Luckily, we don't need that in here. So, anyway, let's find out. And, by the way, I was drawn to do Dark Mirror to start this, which I know is dark energies, but I kind of have a feeling it has something to do with, like, shadow work and, like, undoing, like, karma and stuff like that in order to come together. Like, I was heavily drawn to do this first instead of just rushing to tarot. So, we will see what it has to say. All right, all alleged. Let's go. Yep. Okay. Okay, so this is just more of a message of like how to get there. So I'm gonna be real with you. Based on what the cards are saying, this would read to me like, yeah, it's true. It's almost giving me, I'm being drawn to this movie on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I think it's called The Shack, where he meets like God, right? And he's like, which religion is true? And she's like, all of them are true to some extent. Like there's source in all of the religions. It's kind of giving me this vibe of like, you have the idea right when it comes to like red string theory. I think they just made it, sound pretty. Like for instance, we've channeled throughout centuries. We've probably used different tools, right? At one point they didn't have decks and they used sticks and leaves. It's that idea. So is it true? Basically, yeah. But what I'm seeing is like how to get there. That's why I'm saying it's true, because I'm seeing a story of like, if you want this to happen like faster, basically, if you're single, if you're, you know, in a situationship and you're like, I'm tired of this shit, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, I am tired of oh my God, I just heard the song. I'm tired of begging you to love me. So this, hey, y'all take it if it resonates, but if this is pulling on some heartstrings with Mercury retrograde especially, but if you're seeing this later, that's fine. You need to really think this through, because like, if this is hitting, if this is hurting, you deserve better, honey. Yeah, I just heard a song. I'm just saying you could do better. All right, Spirit, this is not a channel message for everyone. All right. So, but take it if it resonates. You know, we all deserve to be happy. Is this me in the reverse, with Temple of My Body in the reverse, with Black Flower Fragrance in the reverse, is literally, I'm going inwards. I'm figuring out who I am because I'm fed up. Like, you know, I'm taking my energy back. I realize that I'm hearing the song, there's got to be more to life. It's almost like in order to get there, you have to realize that you manifest what, and if you're not spiritual, just bear with me here. You attract what you are. If you like science, right? Energy likes like energy. And so if you don't know yourself, you're going to attract somebody who doesn't know themselves, and then we project onto each other and blah, blah, blah. So it's like you have to find yourself first to find a soulmate, instead of like, if you're spiritual, a karmic, or someone that you don't even have a soul contract with at all. It's just that what I'm hearing is like, a lot of times if it's not even a karmic, it's just you're both kind of vibing at a low frequency, and it is a lesson that you need to learn. So it's like, well, while we're around, and so that's kind of like the bumps in the quote unquote red string. The bumps is you dating other people, basically to like look for something outside of yourself to heal like a childhood wound. It's usually subconscious, right? Like psychology already proves that. So you're doing that to fill a void. But then on top of that, if you're not filling a void, sorry, I have an itch. If you're not filling a void, then, you just have some sort of lesson to learn, or you're dating around to figure out what you like and what you don't like, right? Like you're sculpting your needs, because how else would you know, right? Like, no shade to like religions that, go marriage first and then sex and stuff. But this is giving me a full picture of like, we date a lot and quote unquote get it wrong, but Spirit doesn't see it like that. They see it as chapters, because what I'm seeing is someone bumping into the walls, and they're like in wrap, right? They're like in bubble wrap, and they're bumping into the walls, and they're trying to look for the exit. And it's like, by the time I get to the exit, I'm so grateful for the exit, because I've tried everything else and I've figured out who I am, what I can tolerate. I've learned my strength. I've learned what I don't want. I've learned what I don't want to put up with. I now love myself more because I realize how strong I am. And it's like, boom, that's when you get the soulmate. But in order to get the soulmate, the bumps in the cord, back deck energy, you have to, what humans would call nowadays suffering, having all the wrong people. It's really just we've signed up for it. Like Spirit's drawing me to my personal life. Thanks, Spirit, for that. With Mercury retrograde, if you're seeing this when I put it out, where I'm reflecting on a lot of dudes that I dated that I put on pedestals, or I just kind of let it slide, like I just kind of moved on with my life, and then they're popping up and I'm like, whoa, bro, like how did you do me like that? And I'm learning where I went wrong. So then I learned my boundaries, right? And I learned my own worth, because then I'm like, oh my God, like I'm such a sweetheart. Like, how did you do me like that? That says something about you, not me. And then I'm learning who I am. I'm learning what I want. I'm learning what I don't want, because then when we master detachment, we're like, okay, well, I can kind of see why I fell for you. I like that you were, ambitious, but I hated that you were emotionally avoidant. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we have to suffer so we can learn what we want, what we don't want, who we are, and we find our way back home to ourselves. And when we finally realize that we're not falling for the shit anymore, basically, for lack of a better term, we empower ourselves to be in a frequency of basically abundance, and then we're a magnet for our soulmate. It's like You ever see those? Oh my God. I guess like a maze would do it, right? Like the mazes on like newspapers where it's like the entry and the exit, and it's no matter what, the only place you can exit is like that one spot, but you're going to hit all those walls in the meantime. And it's like, I'm hearing the song, I Got Stamina. So it's like you're building up stamina because, you know, if you didn't heal that childhood trauma that you came into this life to heal, you would have projected it onto your soulmate. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot about being ready for the right person. So is the string theory real? Absolutely. Based on what I'm reading right now, this is more of like a, hey, if you don't want to end up with a karmic, because what I'm seeing is societally speaking, because we've been so disconnected from like self and we look outside of ourselves, we end up with karmics. And so like going back to like the maze on newspapers, right? It's like we hit that wall, but we fucking stay there. And we're like, okay, I guess this is it. It's like we give up. We don't believe that, like what I'm seeing in my mind's eyes, I'm seeing people watching rom-coms and then rolling their eyes and being like, that's not real. And like, we can argue the semantics, but the true love, the happily ever after, like people stop believing in that. So it's almost like, it feels like a myth, this red string theory, but there was a time where we all knew that this was it. It's almost, what I'm seeing is like, I don't remember. I don't know. Well, I don't remember. I don't know. But what I'm seeing is like a time like long, long ago where it's like we knew and we were grateful and we understood, and like we would date someone for a couple of months. They taught us some shit. It's like we shake hands, we bow out, we move on to the next. We understand the assignment, and it's like we grow, we figure out who we are, we figure out how to love ourselves, right or wrong. We learn some lessons, we figure out what's bullshit and what's not, and then we meet our soulmate. As I was talking about it, I got drawn to the Lover's card. It's like then we meet our soulmate. So, I mean, is red string theory? Yeah, it's like you stop lying to yourself, because when the celebrity readings I do, when we got this, especially with celebrities, right? Like, it's like they got the fame, the fortune. Yeah, I'm hearing I got the money and the cars and the clothes, those, I suppose. I just want to be successful. Sing it with me. But it's like, they climb to the top, and at what cost? Do you know what I mean? And so it's like we've disconnected. Like what I'm seeing is like our ancestors, right? And it's like women couldn't have, and this is like not to shit on men, so you know that's not my intention here. But it's like women couldn't have bank accounts, so they didn't really prioritize love, right? Because it was almost like you gotta pick. He gets to pick the pretty one, and it's like, ooh, yay, lucky me. And it's like, we've been hitting that wall in the maze for like decades, because it's like now love is a myth. So I think this is like a mixture of like explaining to you that red string theory is real, basically. It's giving me like telephone, like we knew it as fact long, long ago, but like, you know, when it gets translated, this is the translation of it, but it's pretty dead on. Like I'm seeing like this in my mind's eye. So, I guess we'll pull the tarot and see what we see, but like, damn, like, I think this was just like, hey girl, you know what I mean? If you want to be happy, if you don't want to settle, like that was kind of the vibe, to be honest with you. But we're going to pull the tarot to see if there's anything cool, interesting we could find out about it. Or maybe it'll just kind of be more along the lines of like, yeah, this is how this works. Maybe we'll get some spiritual shit. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, besties. So we're going to take a look. I basically set the intention to see... Well, my deck is not being difficult or nothing. Basically, I set the intention to see... There's a timestamp by now, girl. Mercury is just retrograding all up on my ability to think. We're just going to look at the freaking cards. That's what we're going to do. Besties. Oh, my God. I've been outside all day because I've been so drained because Mercury is just like, face it. And I'm just like, can we chill? Can I just have a second? Like, it's rough. Oh, my God. So basically, I set the intention to basically see, like, how do they orchestrate this? Like, how does this come to be? How do we end up with the right one? Like, how do we, because, you know, like, we hear all the time, like, surrender and trust. So it's like, well, then what the fuck are you guys doing on the other side so that we should surrender and trust? You know what I mean? So that's what I want to take a look at. So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page, and it's how I can continue to keep making this content for you. As always, if you're new here, bestie, subscribe. Come join us. We have such a good time. ask my besties in the comment section, right, besties? But let's take a look. All alleged. Not that anybody would be mad if I said this. How does this happen? How does this work? Oh, it definitely has to do with your spirit guides, for sure. If you don't believe in this, I'm not even sure why you're watching this reading. Okay, well, there's definitely something about an illumination in your life and a journey. Taking risks and having it pay off. And an illumination of self, too. You know what? I feel I'm going to just give a heads up. I have a feeling I'm going to channel a little bit more that I'm going to get from the cards. So if you're a regular, I usually kind of read it in the frame of a story. I have a feeling this might be a little bit choppy, so bear with me here. Because it's like I'm getting a lot from just bear with me. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, I will really work on figuring that out for you. This feels like we have an agreement ahead of time where it's like we're going to fight our own battles. Sometimes it's like literally across the world. Sometimes it's like they're in our backyard and we don't even realize it, because I'm hearing Somebody by Reba McEntire. It's like someone you're not even acknowledging, like a friend of a friend or whatever. But it's like we have a pre-agreement, and our spirit team kind of almost helps us walk through our journey, like, you know, we know, to help us not only do what we're supposed to do, but get us there. And I'm being drawn to like Cupid. And it's like there's other things going on to help us. Like, it's not just our spirit team. It's almost like I'm seeing people taking shifts. It's like there's a group that's here for, like, let's say, I don't know, to heal your daddy wound. And then there's another spirit team group that's here to help you heal your mom wound. And it's like, it's all like we're passing on batons, and it's leading you exactly where you need to be. So even what I'm getting is like, even the obstacles, it's like you chose to go through the obstacles. So if you're like, yeah, I'm being drawn to like the narcissist empath dynamic in specific. It's like in society, a lot of times the empath will going back to the maze, the empath would usually, back in the day, but it seems like we're kind of transitioning here, they would hit the wall, right? They would get stuck in the string because they didn't think they could do better, get better. They lived in the times where, you know, women didn't have rights, so maybe it was the woman that got stuck, or, you know, the man couldn't leave his wife because it wasn't, you know, allowed, and so maybe he was gay and he wanted to be with someone else. Like, it's just like, societally, generationally speaking, the reason why all of our, you know, loved ones are like, love doesn't exist, it's not real. The reason why that's happened is because people gave up faith, basically, for lack of a better term. And so this is just kind of a message of like, keep faith, because a lot of us have our parents and our grandparents kind of like, I think a lot of us have seen, you know, marriage rates at 50%, you know, shit like that. People having their first divorce around their 30s. Like, it's like, even if there is like a divorce or something, it's like it's still fated to happen. So don't give up hope, keep going. You signed up for this. What you're doing is hitting one of the maze walls. Stop. Yeah, I'm hearing journey, don't stop believing. It's like you're gonna eventually get there. We're working on it on the other side to help you. That's why you keep getting these intuitive nudges. That's why you're like, you know, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I feel like I want to get into exercise, and it's out of the blue. But little do you know, on the opposite side of the world or in a state near you, your spouse just went, I feel like exercising and getting my body right. It's like you have pre-agreements wherever you are, and it's almost like you'll either be evolving at the same time, or you'll be working on the exact same thing at the exact same time, or like maybe you need to heal the mother wound and they're over there healing the father wound. It's like we're kind of moving at the same pace because we kind of have similar soul contracts, for lack of a better term. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling I was going to get more channeling than with the cards. Yeah, it's especially like releasing the illusion that people have power over you, especially like over your voice in particular. Again, I think they're talking more so about our ancestors and why we don't see what we would call healthy unconditional love anymore. It feels very transactional, right? Like we see that in celebrity culture especially. It's kind of the same energy here. It's like the reason why it sounds like woo-woo bullshit, you know what I mean, is because our ancestors either wouldn't do the work, couldn't do the work, you know, maybe they were literally controlled financially speaking. And so that's why it's almost like right now in history, we're kind of meant to bring real love back. And that doesn't necessarily mean romantically. It can mean platonically. It can mean love to one another, right? Like for instance, I have a habit of just kind of intuitively knowing who needs a pick-me-up in public. And so I can see someone and I just feel the need to compliment them. And we're in a society where like that'll piss somebody off because we're so disconnected from one another. And it's almost like this generation in particular, this time in history, we're cutting through the illusion that people have power over us and really coming home to ourselves. And then therefore we become happier. We become more in alignment. We don't have these fake fears of things controlling us anymore. And so we stop being stuck in the cord of the string and we start to move towards our destined partner. That's what this reads to me like. It's a lot like cutting through the bullshit and releasing power over. It's like realizing that these karmic partners, the ones that play the fucking Tom and Jerry, cat and mouse, Joker and Harley Quinn vibes. It's like realizing that that's not love. That's like unhealed and just, I mean, no judgment. Pick what you want. If that's what's for you in this lifetime, do you, boo. But some of us want to get back what we're worth. You know what I mean? And so as a society, it seems like we're finally getting there, which is why my spirit team's kind of like this. I'm going to be honest with you. They were like, this is kind of dumb to cover because on the other side, it's like, it's a no-brainer. But because we've been so disconnected from self, it's like, they're explaining it to me like, would you do a tarot reading on if the sun rises every day? Like, that's how they're saying this to me. It's like, this is common knowledge. It's just that we live in such a scarcity lack mindset that we've just completely forgotten that real love does exist. Like, that's really what this is about. We've been having financial abuse over us, emotional abuse over us. We've been in a scarcity mindset in terms of like country, globally. And so the registering theory is a theory instead of a fact. Like I'm chuckling because they're laughing. It's like, that's a stupid, like, but well, let's look into the how this works at least. That lovers, like in the upright, it's like, you know what I keep hearing? Who is that? That's, my mind runs away to you. And make it to me. And then Bruno Mars talking to the moon. It's like you intuitively feel it. It's like you'll get into a relationship with somebody and you'll feel something lacking and then you'll ignore it and you'll talk yourself out of it. To my clients, there's this quote that I always quote from the Notebook, or not the Notebook, I'm sorry, The Holiday. Quite a few of you that are my regulars, I've quoted this in your readings, where it's like, she says, this guy goes, why do I always attract the bad ones? And she goes, because you're hoping you're wrong, and every time they prove you wrong by once in a while doing something right, you lose that fight with yourself that they're not for you. And so as a society, we gaslight ourselves and therefore we gaslight each other. And so we don't believe that this can happen because we stay stuck in something that's not actually in alignment with our highest good. And we tolerate shit that we don't want to tolerate. Damn, this is deep. This is like, let me just tell you what's up. Like, that's how this feels to me. Yeah, it's like there's going to be obstacles at first. They can't just be there on a platter like the moment you decide to date. How will you learn to appreciate what you have? It's like Cupid will strike you when it's meant to, but you already had a predestined agreement in the stars, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I already chose you before we got here. Before we got to this planet, I already chose you. And that's why, like, when you're with somebody and it's breaking down and it's falling apart and you're constantly fighting and it's like, why don't you understand me? And why can't you hear me when I speak to you? It's like, because energetically speaking, maybe you had roles to play, trigger each other's wounds, but energetically you're not a match because you previously agreed, I picked that one. I want to be happy with that one. But we get so stuck on the karmics because it's like there's a wound where I feel like I'm always abandoned, and so I got to stick with you because if you choose me, then that means I'm worthy. And what you've had to do in the first place was realize that no one ever had power over you, and you're cutting through the bullshit. But you predetermined, like, that's going to be the one. And so the way you basically find it amongst, like, your spirit team moving shit, so it's almost like, I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune in my mind's eye. It's like when divine timing that everybody hates to hear. But it's like, that's why when you're with somebody and something, they're dragging me. Oh, besties, I'm going to share a personal story with you. This is so embarrassing. Oh, God. Okay. So I was dating this guy. Now, this was back in my early 20s. You know, I didn't know better, girl. Like, I really didn't know better. But I was dating this guy, and, like, we fought all the time. And honestly, like, I was basically just replaying my mom and my dad. Like, it was just not the best. And I remember my best friend at the time had gotten engaged. And she was like, you want to go to this expo? Like, we could go look at, like, whatever, like, wedding shit. Like, girl, I don't know. And so we went, and I remember the moment I walked in, I was like, my gut went, oh my God, I'm not marrying this man. Like, the moment I walked in, and I had to suffer through the whole thing knowing damn well. And did I break up with him that day, ladies and gentlemen? Did I? No, I didn't. No, I did not. I went around that merry-go-round over and over and over until it was nothing left. And that's the point. It's like our gut will be like, this has played its part. We've grown out of each other. It's not making sense anymore. Our line, like, I'm being drawn to stuff like, you want kids and I don't want kids, and we're making it work when it's like it's not. Or like, I'm Christian and I'm devoted, and you're an atheist. It's like, know that the things that you want, it's out there. That's why you're aching for it. That's why this is not a match, because your soulmate's on the other side. But you have to, like, no shade, like, you have to basically get over yourself and be like, if it's not in alignment with me, I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, again, we have predestined contracts with certain people to help us learn what we do and don't want. So I'm not saying like, oh, you should only date one person forever eventually when you figure your shit out. No, it's like we have to like hit the bumps in the walls by learning. But when the energy goes, okay, you know what, this ain't working, that's when you need to bow out, because it's like energetically you're moving on to your next chapter. Energetically, we agreed, we had it in the soul contract, whatever you want to call it, we would trigger that wound, we would heal it, and then we'd elevate, or we wouldn't heal it, and then maybe we're meant to help that person, but then it's like we grow out of it. A lot of us ignore that moment, but it's like we grow out of it because we hit the next chapter. Maybe we're meant to learn something from somebody else. Maybe we're meant to learn to go within to meet ourselves so we can learn what we do and don't want. It's like, that's why we don't believe it's like, I see my spirit guides just being like, this is so silly. Like, of course you have a soulmate. Of course you're supposed to end up with somebody. That's why you ache for it. Yeah, Ten of Swords is like, you have cycles to wrap up first. So it's like, don't give up hope. You pre-agreed to date this douchebag is basically like the vibe. It's like, you were meant to feel, yeah, it's like, you end up with somebody, you learn about yourself, they learn about themselves, you learn what you don't like, what you do, you learn how to screw up, how not to screw up, and then a lot of us end up in this trapment phase, but it's like we're meant to get over that hump with the Four of Cups in reverse. We are meant to learn to detach, but currently we kind of like strike out in that part, which is why it's become theory instead of fact. We get caught up in the, but I loved you though. You know what I mean? But why would I end it? I've already put 5 years into this, or I can't end it. We're married. What will my family think? Or I can't end it. I put so much energy into you and I want that energy back. Like whatever it is, it's an ego thing. When in reality, energetically, we're not in alignment anymore. We're meant to hit the next chapter. Yeah, it's what did I just say? Oh my God, my tarot readers, you know that just aligns so hard with what I said. After all I put in, what am I going to get for it? It's like, after all you put in, yes, you put in all this energy, but that doesn't mean you have to stick around with it forever. You learned a lesson and now you move on. You exit stage left. Like, that's the vibe. This is so exactly kind of what I expected it to be honest with you. Yeah, the devil in reverse. It's like I'm detaching from things that don't serve me. I'm being honest with myself. I'm becoming the best version of myself, or I'm becoming the best version of what I expect in a relationship so that I can become an energetic match to it. It's like our ancestors fucking knew this shit. Like, this was old news. This is like this is like coming out. This is like going to a teenager and being like, "Bro, I got an iPhone 6." Like, it's like, what? Five of Swords. I'm not willing to fight for this anymore. It's toxic. It's not helping me. It's hindering my growth. It's not helping me grow. Four of Pentacles, but I get stuck. My ego gets stuck. I don't want to let go. And look at his face. It's like, I got all this money. I got everything in front of me, but I'm just not satisfied. And it's like, because this isn't making you happy anymore. It was a tool. It did its job. And now it's time to let it go, because we're aiming for best case scenario. We're aiming for, you know, the lover's card. We're not aiming for this. It's not helping us anymore. It was meant to teach us a lesson, and now we're death gripping it because we're afraid that we won't feel that type of love again. But in reality, we're going to feel it tenfold. That's the vibe. This is so beautiful. Yeah, this is all about like endurance and realizing that, you know, the war is exactly what created us, and having, you know, gratitude for that. Because like, I don't know about you guys, but think about like, because that's what Spirit's drawing me to. It's like, think about when you were in high school. I mean, if you're in high school, I'm sorry. Trigger warning, I guess. Think about when you were in high school, for most of us, right? And we were like, I need to marry Bob. Bob is the love of my life. I have to marry him. I don't care what my parents say. I'll have a Romeo and Juliet shit if I want. And now we're like, what? I don't know, 20s, 30s, whatever your age, right? And it's like, Bob's fat, first of all, now. He's got like 3 kids. He really honestly didn't grow up since high school. Like, I can't even imagine. Or even if he was a good person, it's like, oh, not a match. You know what I mean? Because we outgrow these people. So it's like, and then we also think about it, like we have nostalgia towards that person. We think about like, oh, I loved that part, but I hated that part. And I learned. I'm hearing like, if Ariana took her own fucking advice, I'm hearing thank you next in my mind. It's like, that's how we're supposed to look at love. That's how our ancestors, before the ego and everything got in the way, and, you know, rights of women being taken away, it was just like, I see you, I learned from you, I love you, maybe I outgrow you, maybe I realize we're now toxic for each other because I don't want the cat and mouse, Tom and Jerry shit anymore. But it's like, learning the endurance gets you to your soulmate. And it's like think of Nepo babies, right? They can't appreciate money because it's all they've ever known. We have to go through the treachery to get the soulmate, and then we appreciate them that much more. And it's like, I'm hearing like hint, hint from Spirit, like if it's painful, it ain't it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's supposed to feel like your best friend. It's supposed to be like your biggest support system. It's supposed to be like you're not, I don't want to say complete me, but it's like you're a part of me. You know what I mean? And we just kind of lost sight of that. Yeah, the Magician. It's like we manifest this. We already had an agreement. See, like that reminds me of like a soul contract. It's like we already had an agreement. We got people on the outside. We got people on the inside that don't really know they're on the inside, but intuitively they're drawn to us. And it's like we always, as long as we trust our intuition and we listen to that, we end up exactly where we need to be. Tower in reverse. It's like we have shit fall apart. We restructure ourselves to figure out who we are to then manifest the right person. It's like this, we have to stop seeing it as like a devastating effect. I mean, feel your feelings and grieve. That's part of it. But it's like we have to stop seeing it as like a devastating loss. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I know some people that still be stuck on exes, and that shit happened like 5-10 years ago, and they're either not over them or they just still talk shit. They're like, I fucking hate them, blah, blah. It's like you need to release it, let it go, turn it into something else. It's like look what I found, look what you've taught me. Yeah, you broke my heart, but you made me learn boundaries. Thank you. I'm grateful. Move on. Like, that's the vibe. String theory, absolutely real. Fact, I would say. It is a fact. It's just that we get caught up in hitting the walls of the maze and then staying stuck there because it's almost like a helplessness that society has learned because we lost sight of like spirituality, connection, whatever, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. Back deck, yeah, 6 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Wands. It's like we need to be honest with ourselves about what's not working, release shit after the cycle is over. 10 of Wands, it's like we've already done this. We had Ace of Wands, we had the passion, we had the birth of something new, we had the 2 of Wands, we had the friction, we had the ideas, the 3 of Wands, the expansion, the 4 of Wands, we had a home together, the 5 of Wands. Now we're starting to fight and it's not working like it used to. The 6 of Wands, our egos are getting in the way. We're starting to grow, but we're growing in opposite directions, and we got to be honest about that. And so the 3 of Pentacles, it's not working. We got to let it go. 10 of Wands in reverse. So is string theory real? This passes the vibe check for me, besties. Yes, soulmate connection is real, and the reason why a lot of people don't get there is because of their egos. I'm hearing a lot of like, especially women, like ladies, let's be honest. I've done it plenty of times, let's be honest. When we put a lot of work, and hey, make it, if you put this and you're a man or a they, whatever, make it fit for you. But when you put a lot of work into somebody and it's like, you gonna get yourself right after me? After all I've done for you? Like, that shit hurts. It hurts. Like, I've been there, you know? You put all that energy into somebody, they don't want to fucking commit, and then after you finally had enough and you leave, it's like they change up and they're suddenly good and shit. Like, it sucks. But we have to let that go, because if we choose ourselves and we realize that everything happens for a reason and we let it go with love after we honor what we're feeling, then we're just a step closer to our soulmate. It's not a fail. It's not a step back. It's like mission accomplished, check off the list. That's what it is. So when you outgrow a relationship, just know that you outgrowing it is actually you being a step closer to the one that you really want. So get honest with yourself about what you want. Get honest with yourself about who you are, because that's how you get to become with your soulmate instead of like a karmic or someone that, you know, you're both stuck in a trauma bond. The sooner you get out of that and get in touch with yourself and restructure from when everything falls apart, instead of looking at it as a loss forever, because that's what I'm being drawn to. I'm being drawn to like people I know that are like still bitching about people that they broke up with years ago, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, honestly, and people will call me crazy for this, but like the guy I was talking about before, right, my personal situation, like he cheated on me with like 5 of my friends. Like, I found out after the fact, like legit. But to this day, no animosity. He recently reached out and said happy birthday. I was like, oh my God, thank you, how are you? Like, we shot the shit because I've detached. It's all good. You taught me a lesson. I learned about myself. Thank you. You know what I mean? I can't wait to meet who this was all for. You know what I mean? Well, actually, it was for me, you know, and that's how we have to look at it. And if we do that, you're following the string right to your soulmate, honey. You are for certain gonna find him that way, or her, or them. Whatever you're looking for. It's like whatever's on your checklist, whatever's on your, and not from an ego perspective, right? Not like he's got to have a full head of hair, he's got to be at least 6 feet, or she got to have a banging body and a nice rack. Like, no. It's like he's got to have emotional intelligence, he's got to have a tight-knit family, he's got to be the same religion as me, he's got to have the same, whatever. It's like whatever you feel in your soul is what you're looking for. Hold out hope for that and feel whatever you're drawn to as a person. Like the next person you feel drawn to date, like you just feel a calling, they might be meant to teach you something. They might also be your soulmate. You don't know, but it's all leading you right to who you're supposed to be with. It's 100% true. We just kind of misunderstood the assignment throughout the years. So I'm going to end it there, besties. Wow, that's beautiful. And for, you know, because it's Mercury retrograde, don't text your ass back, bestie. What are we doing? We're restructuring from the damage. We're not holding on to it. We're not like, no, there's got to be something we can fix this. No, we're restructuring. We're learning about ourselves, what to do, what not to do. and then we're in alignment. So don't text your ex. Just write about it in your journal, honey. So I'm going to leave it there, besties. Sending you guys so much love. If you want to book a private reading with me, the link to my website, thekarmicdf.com, in the description box below. The decks I use, the related videos, everything you need is where, what, besties? You know it, in the description box. So I'm going to leave it there, sending you guys so much love. I hope that this all motivated you, if you're single or if you're sick of bullshit, to trust what you want out of life and just go for it and believe that it will be yours. Because, yeah, I just heard what's meant for you will never miss you. True story. I've seen it myself, y'all. I've seen it myself. Stop falling for fool's gold. You know your worth. I'm going to leave it there, besties.